Hello and welcome to another episode of PodcastDX, the show that brings you interviews with people just like you, whose lives were forever changed by a medical diagnosis. I'm Lita. Ron's not going to be with us today.
Yep, he's sailing his sail ship around the world? Around the world in 80 days?
I don't think he is. I think he's at work.
Okay, well, I'm Jean Murray.
Collectively, we're the hosts of PodcastDX.
Okay. Today, we are going to be talking about stress and how it affects the immune system.
That's right, Jean. A review of studies in Current Opinion in Psychology found that stress can cause the immune system to produce an inflammatory response, which can be temporarily beneficial for fighting germs. However, if inflammation is persistent and widespread, it can contribute to chronic diseases, including the buildup of plaque on your arterial walls. This is just one way one of the many factors at play in the complex relationship between stress and your heart.
Dr. Leonard Calabrese, a clinical immunologist at the Cleveland Clinic, says that chronic stress can produce higher than normal levels of the hormone cortisol, which I think a lot of us have heard about that. And this can hamper your body's anti-inflammatory response and cause continual infections, according to recent immunological and immunology research studies.
Yes, and some of the conditions that stress causes are arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, psoriasis, IBS or inflammatory bowel disease. And under sustained long-term stress, you can also develop cardiovascular problems and gastric ulcers. And you are at a greater risk of type 2 diabetes, various cancers, and mental decline.
And we'll have a link where you can learn more on our website.
Yes, we will.
And the real issue seems to be an immune system that has aged prematurely, according to a study done by some social science researchers published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, or PNAs. Social stressors associated with age-related T lymphocyte percentages in older U.S. adults, and I don't think that was a complete sentence.
No, that was just the study.
Oh, okay. And evidence from the U.S. Health and Retirement Study. Okay, still not a complete sentence, but that's okay. And it's this premature aging of the immune system that is causing a higher risk for early onset and of age-related disease and premature death.
And how do they determine the higher risk?
Well, basically, they just guess. No, they actually took blood samples from study participants, and they counted the different types of immune cells that were present, including white blood cells. And these cells play an important role in the immune response to viruses, bacteria, and other invaders. And what they tested were the T cells, and they found that people with higher stress in their lives had a lower percentage or lower number of naive T cells, right? Or the ones that do the most important work in fighting disease, and a higher number of terminally differentiated or worn out T cells, and they can't do their job as well.
And what kind of stress are they looking at?
My day-to-day life. The researchers asked participants about different kinds of stressors that they have experienced, including job loss, discrimination, which it could mean like being treated unfairly or being denied care. Discrimination is...
Yeah, that's a pretty big statement.
Yeah, it can affect a person's entire life.
Right.
Major lifetime trauma, such as a family member having a life-threatening illness, or chronic stress like financial strain.
Okay, so this is a huge impact on the lives of those in underprivileged communities.
Sure. The Brookings Institute published an article titled "The High Costs of Being Poor in America: Stress, Pain, and Worry," and we'll have a link for that as well on our website. And the cost and pain of poverty in the U.S. is for less basic goods, like even just having clean water, clean drinking water, or electricity, can have, or other non-material factors, including insecurity, stress, a lack of opportunity, and once again discrimination. Many of our policies, such as decent quality education, health insurance, or saving incentives can help individuals to move out of poverty, and they can also help to reduce the costs of being poor and the stress that it's putting on individuals.
Okay. And didn't I read that complex PTSD can dysregulate the immune system?
Did you? Yes? Okay. Yes, but that would be a topic for another day, because that's a whole nother subject and in a whole nother episode. So we'll just wrap this up and know that providing opportunities, education, and basic needs for everyone can help reduce stress and help everyone live a longer, healthier life.
Right, because stress is a killer.
Yes.
Got it. And if our listeners have any questions or comments related to today's show, they can contact us at PodcastDX@yahoo.com, through our website, PodcastDX.com, on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, or Instagram.
Or stop us on the road and let us know what you think. If you have a moment to spare, please give us a review wherever you get your podcast. And as always, please keep in mind that this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, and always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition or treatment before undertaking a new healthcare regime. And never disregard professional medical advice or delay in seeking it because of anything you've heard on this podcast. And don't do a podcast if you just had dental surgery.
Till next week.